Hello, everyone. Hi, I am Pippi in a top hat, or just Pippi. The top hat might be evident. And I have the pleasure for you today of showing off Skyward Sword Any % for the Nintendo Wii. This is my favorite category of my favorite speed game, so I am so excited to get to share it with you. This is a really technical run, this is really intricate, there's a lot going on, and it's going to be a kind of breakneck pace. So, with that in mind, we are going to take a quick minute to get some housekeeping out of the way before we hit start. It's dangerous to go alone, so I have brought some commentary assistants with me. Please introduce yourself.
Hello there, everyone. My name is A Variety Pack. Sort of swapping the roles that we had last time Skyward Sword was shown off here at the Fatals channel. I am more than ecstatic to be supporting Pippi in this wonderful run of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Any %.
Yeah, we're super grateful for Variety being here because Variety runs HD, and so Variety is debasing herself to be associated with the absurdism that is SD. We have a little bit different of tact, just a little bit.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit. But anyway, other things to do with the beginning of this run, you might notice that we are playing in Japanese. That is because Japanese is the fastest language. The text scrolls faster and there's less of it, so we like Japanese. It saves like 2 minutes, which is a lot when our entire run is only 1 hour and 20. Also, if you can see the little like crests on the back of 2 of these files, those are hero mode files, or what most games would call a New Game Plus file. That's going to come with a couple of distinct benefits that are all going to help this run function. The first of which is that we get increased damage and range with a Skyward Strike attack, which is our main projectile. We also take double damage, which is definitely not foreshadowing. We also get to skip cutscenes and occasionally soft locks very fast, skipping cutscenes. And the last thing is that we get to play funny minigames that we wouldn't otherwise get to play, and those amuse me. That's also not a joke. We will be doing that. Don't worry, this is the world record route. So I think that is all of my preamble out of the way. And now we can get to the run. I have been told that there's been some choices on what we should name our file. Can I hear what our winner was?
Oh, ooh-woo. I'm so happy to tell you we are going to be ooh-wooing our way across Hyrule.
Oh my god, thank you. It's my favorite file name. Is that capital U, lowercase w, capital U?
You would be absolutely correct.
Wonderful. Wonderful. How do I turn off caps lock? There it is. It's hiding. Oh, that's a U. I hardly ever use the English keyboard on this. But yeah, that is our file name set to go. When I hit this button, our run will begin, and Uwu will go on his fabulous adventure across Skyloft, and across minigamedom. Is everybody ready?
Let's go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Begin the run. All right, so first up, we're going to be skipping cutscenes. I'm just holding the 2 button and skipping a bunch of cutscenes. And we are going to spawn in on Skyloft, which is kind of our like hub area throughout the run. And on Skyloft, we're going to be doing a couple of weird, odd tasks that might not make a whole ton of sense. What we're doing is setting flags in memory, which, oh no, I'm already saying comp sci words. Our first one is going to be talking to Fledge. This is Fledge. Fledge says ooh woo. But what a flag in memory is literally anything that the game wants to remember if I should leave an area and come back later. It's gonna basically write a little post-it note and hold on to that information for later. And we need to set some odd arbitrary flags because we'll be abusing those real quick. Our next arbitrary flag is going to be rescuing Mia the Remlet. And we're gonna do a quick, quirky little movement trick, which looks like nothing is, I call it final boss skip. It's one of the hardest jumps in the run, don't at me. And and it skips like a minute of cutscene and dialogue, so let's see how we do. And perfect. That skipped stuff.
Well done.
He like yells at you and pulls you into a long dialogue conversation if he detects you trying to run away without having finished the tutorial. So this is a tutorial section. It's not technically required. You at home could go play Skyward Sword casually and never rescue Mia the Remlet. But for the speedrun, it is hard required. We'll talk about it later, don't worry. Also, this guy's a terrible pet owner and it's not even his pet. Great. But he's going to tell us that we should go up to the goddess statue, which we definitely should do. But first I'm gonna save my game because you never know what could happen. This is a marathon, we like safety here. So if you look at where that cutscene showed me I should go, the goddess statue, there is a locked door up there. And on the other side of that locked door, there is a sword. It's the second sword. I ran off a pillar. I am so sorry. But there's a sword, and there's literally nothing stopping me from going and grabbing that sword, except for that locked door. So I don't know why I'm bringing this up, because I ran off a pillar again.
I think there might be some recovery hearts if you just head back down the bridge. I don't remember.
I should probably go do that. Oh, let's go back down the bridge. Let's go back down the bridge. Oh, that's a pillar again. We have died. There's a reset button on my Wii. I'm just gonna... don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Everything's fine. Ooh! We're screaming. Hi, this is the mandatory bit you have to do at the beginning of every Skyward Sword Any % run. Welcome to Back in Time, that was all scripted. Of course it was. But now I'm playing on the title screen. You will see this a lot, so don't worry, we will explain it more throughout the run. But the first thing I would like to do, now that I have full control on the title screen, is void out on this bridge, which is gonna spawn me at the top, and I am going to go save at this statue. So we're in Back in Time, also known as bit, and this is what's called a bit save. Bit saving has a lot of effects, and we're going to be seeing a lot of them throughout the run, but the only effect that we're worried about right now is that whenever I spawn in next, when I start file 1 that I bit saved, I'm gonna spawn in right where I last saved, on Skyloft there. You might also notice that on this version of Skyloft that I'm on, that door does not exist. So, huzzah! We have bypassed the locked door and we are acquiring our sword. I swear I'm acquiring a sword, there's just a file menu in the way. Get used to that. However, I'm not actually acquiring a sword, this is actually just a loner. Anything that I do in Back in Time that isn't interacting with a save statue is actually gonna be undone the moment that I hit the start button on my file. We missed the crest, don't worry. But, so it's actually gonna be undone. However, in 2019, we found this tech called reverse bit magic. And what was discovered is that the reason for Back in Time not having effects on your file is because when you hit start, it has a safety mechanic where it reverts to what your file was before you entered Back in Time. However, if you hit start and then make a change, like I am about to do at a very specific part of this cutscene, that stays because it's after the revert. So, during that cutscene, right after I hit the start button, during that fade out animation, it spawned in the Farron pillar. And that gives us access to the first surface region in the game, the Farron region. And because I did that after I hit start, my file now has access to it. Also because I bit saved in that very weird version of Skyloft that does not have that door spawned in, the door is still not spawned in, and I can go pick up my sword for realsies this time. This is actually my sword. And also this is the only sword we'll be picking up for the entire run. I will be doing the rest of this game with a toothpick. There's a bunch of, like, upgrades you're supposed to get. We're not getting them. This is the only sword. We are going to real quick raise this pedestal with a stab, apparently. It did not like my first input. And it's gonna show us that we have placed the tablet. Excellent. That means that it successfully spawned in the Farron pillar because for some reason it doesn't actually check to make sure you place the tablet. It just checks to make sure you have access to Farron. So a quick description of the point of this run. So if you play Skyward Sword casually, you generally have to do 7 dungeons, 2 of which will be in each of the surface regions. So that's Farron, then Eldin, then Lanayru, and 1 of which will be here in the hub region on Skyloft. We will not be doing most of that. That requires like a bunch of double dipping regions, and that's really boring. So instead I'm going to do like 2 dungeons? 2 dungeons sounds good. And our entire goal at the moment is just to get to Lanayru. So everything I do right now is just to get to Lanayru. And unfortunately that requires doing a bunch of stuff. First of all, we are gonna go say hi to Groose. This is Groose. That was Groose. We won't be seeing him for the rest of the run. And now, because remember, we like doing weird arbitrary tasks, I would like to judge a woman's furniture. And now, chat and also my commentator and host, would you like to judge this woman's furniture? Warning, it'll be quite fast.
You know, I would go ahead and say that is probably an... Oh, sorry about that. Couldn't get an answer in time.
Oh, darn it. Ophelia, did you have any thoughts?
I want to say a 3. Do I know what that's out of? No, just 3. That's what we're going with.
Good number. Chat, you can figure out what that 3 is out of. Yes, that was required. Again, not for casual play, but for the speed run, that was required. We will now be going to, the plot told us that we have to rescue our Loftwing. Because we got the sword early, some things are playing out of order. And it wants us to rescue our Loftwing. So we're gonna go do that, and first we have to do our first real combat in the game. I know I've died already, and haven't done combat yet, but I'm sure I'll be great at combat. I'm good at this game, I swear. What do I do? Ah! Get it off me! There we go. I think I did it. Am I doing okay? So, if you can't tell, we'll be dying quite a bit during this run. Death is how we trigger back in time. It's how we access the title screen. So, if you would like to donate per death, if I'm good at the game, I believe we should be dying like 15 or 16 times. If I'm bad at the game, we can die more than that. So, hey, donate to our lovely charity. Support Fatales. Watch me die. Also, this is Zelda. She said ooh woo. She said ooh woo. Alright. I know that the commentary has been pretty dense. I swear we'll lighten up a bit. But now that I've done this cutscene with Zelda, I'm just going to copy file 1 to file 3. And this begins the biggest shenanigans in this run. I'm doing some file setups at the moment. So in order to do those file setups, the only thing that's important for y'all to remember is that the next time I load into file 3, it'll load in right here about to get on my Loftwing. About to save my... What's that, Zelda? My Loftwing? Put that there. But we'll be about to save our Loftwing. And in the meantime, I don't know how to fly a bird, apparently, so Zelda's gonna give me a mandatory tutorial in a language I definitely understand. This is an auto-scroller, so I'm gonna try to hit Zelda with a bird for funsies. Ophelia, the floor's all yours.
Oh, I have a lot of love coming in for you, in for this game in general. I have a $10 donation from Cloud that says, sending all the love to Pippi and Variety, showing off such an incredible speedrun using the bit of magic to reverse us back in time to our childhood with this classic Zelda. Thank you for representing the women of Zelda speedrunning and of course for being such wonderful friends.
everybody should catch Cloud's run on Saturday. There is a 2-frame trick coming up directly after this auto-scroller, and if I fail it, I'm gonna donate $10 during Cloud's run. If I fail it in a funny way, we're donating $20 during Cloud's run, and if I succeed, we're donating $25. So this is a 2-frame trick. Don't worry about it. We'll explain it afterwards. We'll figure out what's happening. Here we go.
Well done.
Woo!
Yes.
We were side hopping out of a cutscene that has not spawned in yet. There is no cue for that. You mash 15 times a second.
That is, it is
Also,
very,
I died.
it is very difficult to overstate how difficult it is to get that trick consistently.
All right, we have to go directly on to the next trick, because this is a file loop sky RBW. We are copying file 3 to file 2. I know that doesn't look like what we're doing, but it's what we're doing. Don't worry about the rest of this. And then we're gonna bit save file 1. In addition to setting where our file will spawn next, bit saving also puts several features from our file that we bit saved into back in time. And the important one here is that it gives us the ability to call our bird. And we are now going to do a RBW, which is a reverse bit warp. Don't worry, you don't need to know what that means at the moment. But I'm gonna call my bird and start my file, and it's gonna put me in the sky on a copy of file 3. Important to note, file 3 does not have a bird. I don't know where I got this bird from. But we're going to go make friends with another bird. This is Guava. He's a Gwei. Hi, Guava. Ow. We're now going to do the important thing to do here, which is talk to Fi. We want to talk to Fi for this cutscene specifically. This cutscene gives us the ability to jump off of our bird, so we can now do that despite the fact that we are on file 3 and file 3 doesn't have a bird. Ooh, that was spicy. Guava really wants to kill me today. We died. But that means we're gonna respawn on file 3. Now, where does spawning in on file 3 put us? Oh, right here. I'm gonna run into a cave real quick. So yeah, that was a death warp. We just wanted to reset to go get our bird. And I promise this will all make sense soon, but just know that all of this file setup was to get a file that can escape from the tutorial. You know that tutorial I just did? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again because apparently I'm a terrible driver on my loft wing and I, crashed into a bird a bunch of times. Oh, hey, look, my loft wing. Look at that. Have we done this before? But we're gonna free our loft wing again. Here he is. And now we're going to learn how to fly again. We're going to learn how to call our bird, except there's one major difference this time. That because we watched that Fi cutscene, we now have the ability to jump off of our bird. And the way that this tutorial works is there is a bounding box that prevents my loftwing from leaving the area. I said my loftwing, not me. So, if I fly straight at this pillar for a bit, and then jump off my bird, the bounding box does not affect me and I can escape to Farron. And the entire reason we did all of this setup and all of this complication has been in the name of being able to enter the sky on the title screen, which is going to make the rest of this run possible. We need a very specific file setup for that not to crash, but we did it. We're good. We're golden. We've got access to the sky from the title screen, and I think that's pretty cool, honestly. But I am entering Farron for the first time, and here is my pro tip, as you know, we're all video game aficionados or something, right? If you're playing a game casually, anytime you enter a new area, you should probably save your game. There's a lot of things that could kill you or do damage to you, and it's just generally good practice to save your game. I took damage. I died.
Good thing you saved.
Yeah, good thing I saved. That's why we save, right? That's why we save. Yeah, if you see me leaning over, that means we're entering back in time. You just hit continue, and then there's like a huge window to hit reset on your console, and that's gonna put you in back in time. Now, I'm gonna do some just file shenanigans, setup stuff, and in the meantime, Ophelia, mic's all yours for a little bit.
Sorry, I was muted for a second because I do that. That's awesome because I have a couple donations and a couple things I want to talk about. I have 2 $5 donations. One of them is from Death 1, and the other one is from Death 2. I really want to see more of these donations come through. Please send those in. And when you're sending those in, potentially think about putting them towards our soundtrack choice bid war for Crypt of the Necrodancer. We have 7 different options for you, quite a few. You've got quite a lot of value to choose from there. Personally, I'm with the runner. She would prefer Girlfriend Records for that, which is in the lead. But if you like a lot of the break screen music we play here on GDQ, maybe you could put your donation towards the OC remix. I'd love to see what kind of race we can get going on that.
Heck yeah. You have time for one more. I'm just diving to a pillar on the title screen. Don't worry about it.
Gorgeous. I have a $5 donation from the backside of water that says, "Good luck on the run, Pippi." Well, excuse me, princess. There were a lot of views in that one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What I just did there, by the way, excuse me, princess, but you haven't been kidnapped. Why are we doing this again? She doesn't get kidnapped. But what I am currently doing is just some shenanigans. You see that log just appeared? That was because we talked to Fledge. What we are doing is essentially confusing the game as to what map it should be looking at to decide what things should be where. And essentially, we're taking advantage of the fact that the game has a limited amount of memory addresses. And so it checks what region you're in and then uses memory addresses for that region. So, or that map, rather. So it's doubled up quite a few times. So we can do things on Skyloft, such as talk to Fledge, and that will have effects if we are not on Skyloft in back in time. There are several other ways in which we can mess with this as well. I'm actually being very careful right now. Oopsies. Don't worry. Because if I look at file 1 at the wrong time, it's going to start playing a cutscene of the Lake Floria doors opening. Just randomly. By the way, we have to reload the map, so, oh no, I'm terrible at the game. I'm dying on the title screen. How did this? Oh no. Oops. But if I look at the Lake Floria doors opening cutscene twice, it'll soft lock. And that's not good. So we're gonna not do that. Luckily we're pretty much past that now. But I said twice, I am allowed to look at it once, and since we got past the part where it matters, hey, y'all wanna see the Lake Floria doors opening? How you feel? You wanna see some quirky fun? The camera does a big ol' zoomy. But we're gonna make sure we get all the way to where we're going, because what we're doing right now is we're trying to enter the first dungeon in back in time. So I'm gonna open file 1. Oh. Doors. Yeah, funny things happen when you're in bit. But I have immediately swapped my files back, so that will not happen again, and we won't softlock. This is going to put us directly into the Deep Woods, which is where our first dungeon is. And I'm gonna do some more filey shenanigans. We're gonna look at file 1, decide not to, look at file 3, skip a cutscene, go back, look at file 3 again, and then we're gonna wait. But what I did, and we had Ophelia read lovely donations over earlier, was steal some coordinates from Skyloft. And like XYZ coordinates, and we're going to spawn at those coordinates, but in Skyview. We are 2/3 of the way through the dungeon. Now we have to complete this dungeon because we need to get the reward you get for completing the dungeon, which is the ruby tablet that gives us access to the Elden region, so that we can go and get the amber tablet so we can get access to the Lanayru region. But we don't have to do the rest of the dungeon. We just have to do the last third. So, unfortunately, though, the way we got in here being a little bit unexpected means that the game kind of forgot to load a couple of assets. So I had to enter this room, and the game likes to do a lot of loading while you're not looking. So reopening that door has reloaded the assets, so it spawns in a couple of enemies. This is a spider. He is the scariest enemy in the game, and we have bypassed him. Huzzah! That's not a joke. But this is the asset, oh, please get up, that we actually cared about. This is a tightrope that lets us get to the boss door. And that lets us go and fight our first boss, which is going to be Girahim 1. And I'm going to do a legitimate safety save. This is an actual safety save. This isn't a bit. Ha 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 ha. But in order to open the boss door, we're just gonna go on a little quest to go get our boss key, because remember, this game likes its motion controls, and it has those like big fun boss keys. If you haven't played it casually, I highly recommend it. But also, it expects us to have 2 items by this point in the game. Expects us to have the slingshot and the beetle, which you're supposed to use to knock down these vines, but luckily because we're on hero mode and we have the improved range on our Skyward Strike attack, we can void and hit that vine just barely with our Skyward Strike, skipping what would otherwise be a soft lock. These vines are terrible, by the way. They're the worst coded thing in the game. Hey Brian, did they keep that for HD?
You bet they did.
I'm so glad that we can suffer together. Oh, and that's why. Did I want to go in the void? No, Link just decided he wanted to go backwards. This is faster. The vines are getting revenge on me.
This is starting to look like the HD run, huh?
That's very true. We jumped in a void a bunch during Variety's HD run. Y'all should watch that. The VOD exists. All right, we made it. I'm so proud of us. H, by the way. This is the H key.
H.
And now I'm going to shut up and let Variety do some talking.
All right, so this is a little bit of a unique concept for a boss in a Zelda game, particularly with its first phase. Girahim, after we actually enter the door and skip the cutscene, is going to hold his hand in a certain position, and we're essentially going to be attacking him wherever his hand is not, so that he does not grab our sword. Should he grab our sword, he's capable of throwing it away and controlling it, and we absolutely don't want that. Now, he does catch on to this pretty quickly, so we're going to quickly direct his hand to a certain position again, so that we may simply perform this spin and stab combo 4 times. After a slightly unsettling cutscene, the second phase begins. Girahim can do any number of things during this phase, but we're essentially going to be looking for any option that involves his sword, like that one. That includes holding a sword or charging at you with that sword. We do not want to see anything that involves those little red darts or lasers. He's not vulnerable during those attacks, and Pippi's going to want to slash them away as quickly as possible so that we can roll the cosmic RNG dice again. Those are the darts that I was talking about, and generally speaking, you want to stay fairly close to Girahim so that he does that. He opens himself to being hit, and that was a very, very clean fight.
Yep, decently clean phase 2, only a little bit of a mess up on phase 1. A high fun fact, this game is, as you might have noticed, done with Wii Motion Plus motion controls. This was a Wii Motion Plus launch title, and thus handshake from Event Nerves is very punishing. So I'm very happy to get through with that clean of a Girahim 1 fight. Also, should I pick up the heart container for safety? Oh, bye. So, as it turns out, I don't know if y'all caught this in the file shenanigans. We're on file 3 right now. We're on file 3 right now. We're not on file 1. We will be finishing the game on file 1, so, I could have picked that up for safety. Except it wouldn't transfer over to when I actually would need it later in the run. I would not get more health for the final boss gauntlet. So, we ignore it. Very fast. It would give me a little bit more safety for exactly 1 trick, but that's fine. That 1 trick you already get 2 tries at. And I don't need 3, that's just greedy. I skipped the cutscene that showed us getting the Emerald Tablet, which gives us, or not the Emerald Tablet, sorry, the Ruby Tablet, which gives us access to the Elden region. Now we have to go back to Skyloft to place it in the pedestal. Now I am going to be showing you a big ol' secret in how this game works. There is a built-in quick travel system, and it is not the same as HD's quick travel system, which is using an amiibo. We have our own. In SD, we have our own, and it's called File 2. So we're gonna load into File 2, which, oh, it's right here. Ow. Ow. Excellent. That's the quick travel system. This is gonna put us back on Skyloft because we can hit continue, hit reset, and we spawn back in on Skyloft. Now I'm gonna be doing an RBW, which is, I've done a couple of times. I'm gonna define that for you real quick, finally. So if you hit start right before you enter a loading zone, you warp into that loading zone. Not back in time, just on your actual file. So if we have the Ruby Tablet on file 3, we are going to enter into the goddess statue right after hitting start on file 3, and that is going to put us in the goddess statue and all ready to place the tablet. Easy quick travel. And I'm just gonna do that. You could probably squeeze in a donation real quick.
Well, that's fantastic because I have one from the King's Pride. He says, "Howdy, partner. I'm so full of hype and joy to see one of my best friends absolutely crush the Legend of Zegend, Skyward Sword, live on Fatales. Get down to a bit of nonsense and have fun with it, Pippi. It's been such an honor to see your progress with this run, from getting owned by a spider, jumping in lava, voiding infinitely in sand, to finally getting to where you are now. Donation goes to seeing Ulu on screen for a third of the run, as voted by the Pipcord."
We love it. Here's a broken cutscene. We're gonna skip it. That's a soft lock, by the way. If you're not on hero mode, that soft locks you. You can't progress past that cutscene because it spawns the camera out of bounds. But thank you so much, Pride. I really appreciate it. We are once again going to utilize our quick travel system because that was a save prompt. I saved my progress that I have placed that tablet, and we're gonna once again die. Now we're gonna be doing some more shenanigans. Now, if you remember what I said earlier, we stole the coordinates for a bird statue and then applied them to a different map. We're gonna be doing the same thing again, but the coordinates we're gonna be stealing are in Farron, and we're gonna be bringing them to Eldon because I don't want to do the whole digging mitts thing. I don't really need the mitts. We're gonna actually be finishing this run itemless. Oh, there's my save statue. So we're gonna first bit save, because that's gonna give me, hold on. my button presses were a little off there. That's gonna give me the ability to follow my bird so that I can go into the sky and back in time. Anytime I go into the sky and back in time, I have to be looking at file 2. If I don't, the game will crash. We spent a long time setting up file 2 to be all fancy. We're gonna use it a lot. But so we're gonna go to a very specific bird statue in Farron, and we're gonna go bit save at it, which will steal our coordinates onto file 3. And then we're going to enter Eldin, which will spawn us at those coordinates, just like we did with Skyview. I am also swapping files as I enter the region, because if I enter the region with a file that has been to Farron before, has been to Farron before, I can speak, it's going to try to show me a map. And that's bad. That crashes. We have a lot of assets on screen at the same time. If we try to place the map assets as well, it's going to break the video game. So we don't want to do that. But we have now bit saved file 3. We've stolen some coordinates, and we're going to just go to the sky on file 2. Once again, if we were not on file 2, the game would crash because it would not be able to load the sky. There's a lot of things that crash in back in time. But now I'm gonna do a little janky zipper trick. And honestly, we're just gonna do some flapping and fly to an invisible pillar. And that's all normal stuff, right? So you can squeeze in one more donation or chat with our viewers if you would like, Ophelia.
Excuse me, I would love to tell everybody about a little bit what we got going on coming up for them, because I know how to speak words. We have opened an incentive for a bonus Kaizo run. So it is an 8-exit intermediate Kaizo, and it is all about fast pipes. That is for our Pipe-tastic incentive. It's very flashy, and Alyssa, our runner, is the world record holder for it. So I know I would love to see that. I would love to see some donations coming in, like these $5 donos from Death 3, Death 4, and Death 5.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, I have 2 of them from Death 5. Death 5 really wants to hear from us. I love
Death
it.
5. Oh, shoutouts to Death 5.
Shoutouts to Death 5.
Also, shoutouts once again to Cloud's run on Saturday, because this is the playable test of Breath of the Wild. We are currently out of bounds in Eldin. Inbounds is somewhere to our right. But we have spawned ourselves out of bounds because we're gonna climb up this out of bounds collision. It's a little bit janky. Well, just a little. Don't worry about it. Here's the hard one. Let's see how this goes. Oh, excellent. That's one of the hardest parts of the run right there. Glorious. Yeah, we can climb on this. We can go at higher verticality than Link is ever supposed to in this area, because you're not meant to walk on this collision. But there still are some parts of it that get weirdly slippy. But we've been trying to climb so that we can get into a specific spot up here and jump our way back in bounds. But now we are at the top of Eldin, and we've skipped the entirety of the rest of Eldin and getting the digging mitts and all of that. And because I'm in a new area, it's a little delayed, but I am gonna save my game just in case I died. You know, there's lava all around. It's a little dicey. I died already, didn't I? Shoutouts to that death. Yes, once again, we will be entering back in time, and what we're going to do is the same thing I did originally, which is, as I said, called reverse bit magic, or an RBM. We're going to be setting a flag on Skyloft, and it is going to set a corresponding flag at the same part in memory on the map we're on, which is currently the Eldin Volcano map. So we are going to be pushing a gravestone on Skyloft, which is arbitrarily the same memory location that decides whether or not the doors to the Earth Temple are open, which skips us having to do a bunch of like digging stuff. Yeah, that's what you do there, right? Variety, you dig.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you dig. By the way, Link is gonna rapidly change his clothes during this. He put on his clothes and then he goes outside and he puts back on his jammies. Important note, if he's wearing the wrong outfit, the game will crash. This is not a joke. Nope.
I too will crash if I'm not wearing my jammies.
All right, we have done the thing. We are in the loading zone for the cutscene of ET opening, so we are inside Earth Temple already. And now I'm gonna do a trick, and Variety is going to tell you about it.
Yes, with the absence of the beetle, the item that you'd normally get in the Skyward Temple, we're gonna have to do some really obnoxious maneuvers to get past that bridge that you see in the distance. Essentially, we want to use our maximum distance Skyward Strike to cut down a rope that is holding it up. Ironically, however, we're not actually going to be aiming our Skyward Strike skywards at all. We're gonna have to manipulate an enemy for that. So Hippie has manipulated a keys here, these little bat things, to fly above her at just the right angle so that we may direct one of our Skyward Strikes to destroy the rope. It's pretty annoying just because our success is determined by some cosmic force, but that's just how it goes sometimes. That looks correct.
That was so swaggy.
That's really,
I did not mean to do a stab. Oh, all right. Done with extra swag to spare. Yeah, we are unable to point our projectile attack upwards because usually if you have an item, it puts you in first person to aim. We're just gonna bait him out of the way. Oh, hold on. I missed. My motion controls are a little bit desync. Reminder that this game was made in, 2011? But we're able to wait for the keys to get a lineup that I liked and then attack through him, as Variety was saying. And now we're halfway through the dungeon already, and we are going to save because we're gonna skip about half the gameplay in the dungeon because instead of doing that whole ball rolling puzzle that's long, we're gonna do an RBM to tell the game that the bridge is up.
I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah, Variety does have to do the whole ball rolling puzzle in HD, and in HD you also have to do peg skip, which is, oh, I can't do that trick. This is why I run SD. But oddly, this is going to look exactly the same as the last RBM we did, because we are now on a different map, so that corresponds with a different flag, because the Elgin Volcano is not Earth Temple. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna go to sleep in this random person's house. Thank you for letting me use your bed. And then we're going to go outside while wearing the correct outfit for the weather because that's important. And Ophelia, if you would like to comment on anything else, we got
Well, I have Ben who is commenting with a $5 donation that says, motion controls in a speedrun? This is wild. And I have to agree. It sounds like they can be a little bit of an issue. And I do just want to bring up that we got a little bit of movement on that soundtrack choice bid war for Crypt of the Necrodancer. Chipseal is up in the lead now. Now, Chipseal is the writer, the remixer for the Dicey Dungeons OST, so I do know why that one's in the lead. Dicey Dungeons does have a great OST, but personally, I want to see that Girlfriend Records win. That is what our runner would love to hear, and I know I am with Runner's Choice.
I have no idea what any of these things are. I haven't heard any of them. I've never played Dicey Dungeons. However, Girlfriend remix, you said? That sounds
Girlfriend
great.
Records.
Girlfriend Records.
Let's go girlfriends. Let's go lesbians.
Let's go girlfriends. Also, yes, Link was standing on the lava for a couple seconds there. Don't worry about it. We just had to reload the room so that the game realized that that bridge was up because we kind of set the flag in a way we're not supposed to. We're gonna do a little funny trick here called a stutter sprint, which you shouldn't have enough stamina to climb up this slope. But if I scream a bunch, we have just enough. You're just spamming A, and at the cost of some speed, we can artificially extend our stamina meter. That, once again, skips having items, which is very important because we didn't pick up the slingshot. And now the slingshot's like the least useful item in the game, but the way that items work in this game is kind of funny. This is our next boss key, by the way. It's kind of funny because the B wheel, which is how you would select what item you would like to use, is sort of counted internally as being its own item. And you pick it up simultaneously with picking up the slingshot. If you try to pick up a different item without having picked up the slingshot, the game will soft lock. I will not be able to do anything. So that means because I skipped the slingshot, we did not get the beetle, we did not get bombs. D, by the way, this key is the D key. This is, we're only doing 2 dungeons. We have the H key and the D key, and I think something foreshadowing HD? Skyward Sword HD coming soon?
Only 10 years later.
Yeah, exactly. But in the full game, you would see more keys than that, obviously, because you do more dungeons, but we don't. As I said, our only goal is to get to Lanayru right now. But as I mentioned, we do not have bombs. So we're going to do, you saw I safety saved again right there. This is a trick called Bombless Scaldera. Because we are going to be using the bombs that are supplied by the stage that are meant to be refills to beat Scaldera. Now, I saved because this trick can soft lock. It hopefully shouldn't. Hopefully I know what I'm doing. But first, Girahim has to talk at us for a while, you know? Ophelia, if you would like to jump in with any questions, comments, or thoughts or donations, you are welcome to while Girahim talks.
I have Death 6, Death 7, and Death 8, all putting in $5 donations. I'm honestly, these are some of my favorite ones to see coming through. Y'all keep sending them. They are fantastic.
That's so cute.
Oh, these are so good. I have a $50 donation from Game Boy Light. This says Secret Stone, Prisoning War, Back in Time. Loving this run, Pippi. Such a great time having you, Variety, and Clockwork together for this. Major congrats to everyone involved in the event, and let's go women. Let's go women.
Let's go women. Oh, I messed that up a little bit. We're gonna get an extra cycle. That's fine. I just picked up a bomb like a fraction of a second too early. Well, that gives me more time to talk about Scaldera. So, as you can see, the bombs that I blew myself up with, oopsie doopsie, are at the top of the stage. And so for this first section, that's not really a problem because we can roll a bomb down the stage and have Scaldera eat it. Just like this. I'm gonna do a couple rolls to chase it, and he's going to go slurp and eat that bomb. And then he's gonna give me a random position for his eyeball, and now he's gonna come back up to the top of the stage. Now, I'm gonna try to do, we're just gonna play it safe and wait for him to step on a bomb. We're gonna try to do a little trick here of essentially, he's going to transition phases after this. I'd like to do a specific amount of damage and walk through his legs, do a couple of rolls, pull out my sword, and knock him into vulnerability again and do one more attack and he's dead. So once he's down at the bottom of the stage, that was actually really fast. I'm happy with that. Once he's down at the bottom of the stage, he does not want to come back up to the top, so we cannot feed him another bomb. It is impossible. However, if we deal damage to him fast enough, it never takes away his vulnerability, and we can snipe him at certain points of his eyeball coming down animation, and deal damage to him, which will knock him into his vulnerability animation and allow us to reset the timer and to deal more damage to him. And with proper damage management, like we did right there, we can just hit him in one go and not have to wait for him to roll anymore. And that is bosses for dungeons done. There were only 2. Heck yeah. And now, since we've beaten our second dungeon, we are going to go and get our second dungeon reward, which is our Amber Tablet, which will give us access to Lanayru. I told you that was the point, right? And I didn't tell you why. So, in the regular gameplay, you normally would have to go back to the Farron region after having beat all of the game to go enter the Gate of Time and chase after Girahim into the past and do this whole boss gauntlet thing. And that sounds slow. So instead, we're going to go into an out-of-bounds area and use that to get to a very late game area in Lanayru, and then we're going to play mini-games and break them. And that is how we are going to beat the game. So first of all, I'm going to just save inside Earth Temple and die, because why wouldn't I? We're trying to get back to Skyloft. This is the fastest way I know how to get back to Skyloft. And now I said this run will be completely itemless. We will pick up $5. I'm not sure if that counts as an item pickup. Please don't judge my run for not being entirely itemless. We are gonna pick up $5 because we are actually currently transferring our progress back to file 1 from file 3, where we have been doing our dungeons. Don't worry though, because we picked up those $5 back in time, we will not have them after we start our file. So we didn't actually pick up $5, don't worry. And we did that because, for whatever reason, picking up any amount of money will update my inventory back in time. So now, despite the fact that I had the tablet on file 3, we can place it on file 1. This is Invisible Idaho. The game is really trying its best to keep up. But now I'm just gonna do the same RBM I did the first time. We're gonna RBM the existence of the Lanayru pillar onto our file. So once again, we're gonna wait for a specific point in the cutscene, just about there, and hit start. And now, you might have missed it, but that first bit interaction where I went to Farron, I actually stashed file 1 here for safekeeping, just for this time. We put it over there so that it wouldn't get lost. The real reason is because file 1, because of some of the shenanigans I did, does not actually have the ability to call a bird. It also thinks that it's never been to the Farron region, so this is Fi telling us that the Farron pillar exists. You should go check it out, despite the fact that that's where we just came from. Don't worry about it. Also, shoutouts to one of the best text boxes in the game right here. Hold on, there it is. That just says Sky. Thank you, I figured that one out. But we can't call our bird, so fortunately, if we are on a surface region and we go to the sky, it automatically calls our bird, and it doesn't actually check to make sure that that's possible before it does that. So our bird just exists now, and we never have to use it again. We're not going to be using it outside of back in time again, so that's fine. But now we're in Lanayru, which I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Variety, Lanayru is a new area? Yeah?
Yes, I suppose so.
Yeah, so we're gonna be good gamers and we're gonna save. Now there's no lava here, there's no pits. I don't see any way that I would immediately die in this area. So this is aggressively safety. I found this bomb on the ground though. I wanna see what, happens. Neat. So yes, we're going into back in time again, and we are going to be doing a bit warp. Now I've done a couple of reverse bit warps. That was what I said earlier, where you can start your file and then enter a loading zone. but we haven't done a non-reverse bit warp. A non-reverse bit warp is going to place us at the coordinates of the statue we save at, but in the region that we were already in. So on the same map. I don't know if y'all noticed, I was bonking into a tree earlier to open a door. Back in time is weird. There's a reason we call it bit magic. It's because when people figured it out, they thought it was magic and couldn't figure out how it was working. But we don't have that ability anymore, because that was an ability that was owned by File 1 being in Farron. So now we have to do our little void out trick once again. Also, now I'm very far out of bounds. And this gives us a good opportunity to talk about basic movement. Hey, Variety, you want to talk about basic movement?
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned it, but let's talk about that stamina wheel, this little lime-looking thing in the bottom of the screen. As you might expect, it depletes as you use it and replenishes as you don't use it. However, while it replenishes at a consistent rate, it does not deplete at a consistent rate. When using it, your stamina wheel will only deplete at 50% its normal speed at the 25% mark. Now, by doing a little math, we can determine that if it recovers faster than it depletes for that final segment, we're going to want to stay in that segment of the meter for as long as possible. We don't really have to wait for it to get back to full before we use it again, because we get more stamina for our buck in that last little portion.
Yep. We also, rolls seem like they should be super fast, right? They actually save somewhere between 2 and 0 frames per roll for the majority of the time, which is not much. That's kind of not much at all. So when you see me rolling, it's usually either because I have stamina to burn, and so I can, afford to cut off a couple of frames. Does the rock love me today? The rock loves me. Sometimes the rock just says no. Or it's because I'm trying to hit my max speed. So Link has like this little getting up to speed part of his run cycle, and you can skip that by either doing a roll, by the way I died again, doing a roll, or doing a target walk for a couple frames to just instantly put Link at max speed. It saves very small amounts of time. I'm going to now be doing one of the newest tricks of this run. This is called Fast Farron Bit. It's very technical, but essentially what I'm doing is using cutscenes to juggle a soft lock so that it tries to soft lock. Sorry, I wasn't listening for an audio cue there. While I'm already in the sky. We're essentially delaying a soft lock from happening until I'm in the sky, and then it can't happen because it doesn't know how to play cutscenes if I'm not touching the ground. Very silly, saves a bit of time. It revolves around bonking trees and swapping files. But now that we've gotten to Linearu, we would like to play the boss rush minigame specifically. Now, in order to do that in Skyward Sword, you have to save the Thunder Dragon. And to save the Thunder Dragon, you need to do this whole minecart escort mission. But aside from just being slow, the minecart escort mission also involves a ton of items. Like, so many items, and we have no items. So we're gonna be cheesing it, unsurprisingly, using some back-in-time shenanigans. And we're gonna be doing 3 different RBMs. So we're setting 3 different values in memory. This is the first one, and this is going to be blowing up a rock. Because we don't have bombs or hook beetle, we don't have a way to blow up that rock the way we're intended to. Oh, there we go. So instead, that wasn't the rock we were trying to blow up. I just have to make a change to the stage so that the game realizes that I made a different change. Now, if I stand over here and I turn the camera this way, oh, did y'all see that rock blow up? That was what we wanted.
With that rock blown up, do you mind if I pop in for 1 second?
Go for it.
Well, I would just like to let everybody know that we have opened up an incentive for an unlock a death metal polka, which is for our next upcoming run of Crypt of the Necrodancer. And Pippi is moving through this, so we need to get that met quickly, everybody. Why don't we put these $5 donos from Death 9, Death 10, and Death 11 towards that incentive so we can get that death metal polka.
Deaths for deaths. We love it. We love it. So I'm just going to Farron back in time once again, because now that we've blown up the rock that's blocking the minecart's path, we need the minecart to exist. It doesn't actually exist right now. We need it to spawn in. And we're gonna once again do that by setting the flag in memory that it should be spawned instead of doing it the intended way. Which, for whatever reason, involves going to see Kikwis. The Kikwis normally you go talk to get the slingshot at the beginning of the game. But since we skipped that, we skipped the Kikwis. But thankfully, saving Machi the Kikwi shares a flag with the minecart being spawned in. So we're just gonna do that. And I really like that because I really like Kikwis. They make really fun noises. Variety, how do you feel about Kikwis?
I know we have differing opinions on them.
Okay, what's the best Kikwi?
Lopsa is the best Kikwi.
My favorite is Ulo.
And you would be wrong.
It's okay, I'm wrong with Pride. Actually, I don't know what Pride's favorite Kikwi is. Shout out to the King's Pride. Ophelia, do you have a...
I was actually about to say, I would like to hear everybody else's favorite Kikwi in the donations. And please put those donations towards that Crypt of the Necrodancer, unlock the Death Polka. We need to meet that before the start of the next run. We need to meet that quickly, y'all. We are 5% of the way there, but I think we can do it.
I believe in y'all. I'm gonna do some actual basic combat. That's the only time we do actual basic combat in this entire run. By the way, the Kikwi will now speak. Thank you. That has set the flag for the minecart being spawned in. Just like before, we have to make another change to the map for it to realize that we spawned in the minecart. That's called a commit. That rupee exists. Fun fact, a lot of the changes to the map that speedrunners used are things that we found out about through Let's Plays, I'm told. Just people's Let's Plays of Skyward Sword on YouTube casually. Funny swaggy shout out, I've gotten 3 watermelon glitches this run. Watermelon glitches are frame perfect and save no time. We love them. It's just what it makes the stamina wheel look like a watermelon. That's all it does. Very silly. But now we're going to do another bit warp. We're going to be using the same bird statue we did last time. And it is once again going to put us way out of bounds, but this time on a different map. So last time we were on the Lineru Mines map, and this time we are on the Lineru Gorge map. Lineru Gorge being the area we are currently in. And because Machi has spawned in the minecart for us very kindly, we are now going to get out of bounds to skip the majority of the minecart segment. The minecart segment essentially has some checkpoints that if you void out near that checkpoint, it's gonna respawn the minecart at that checkpoint, so you don't have to go all the way back. And we are going to use out of bounds movement to just get to the final checkpoint to skip most of it. And in order to get over there, we're going to be doing something called jank jump. It is a jump. It is jank. Don't ask me how it works. I do not know. I know how to do it. I know how the majority of this run works. I don't know how jank jump works. But give Link a moment. He's voiding. Are we gonna jump? Are we gonna jump? Perfect. That would, I don't know how to explain that other than it works. The collision stops like right at the wrong time there, but we can get by. Now it's really important I don't die here. And we're going to now do something called a brake slide, which I'm gonna leave to Variety because HD loves brake slides.
Yes, we do. Brake sliding is a pretty strange mechanic that involves what we call ESS position, or extended super slide. By having your controller's joystick be in a very precise position, just a little bit back from its resting place, the game will apply uncapped negative speed to Link. Normally, this isn't very useful, but in quicksand like we are in now, it's really important because the sand hampers our positive speed, that is to say our forward speed, but not our negative speed. We can move faster than the positive speed cap by applying that negative speed instead of the positive. So by buffering our ESS position in the menu screen, then returning to the game, we get to go zoomies across the sand to areas that the game wouldn't normally expect us to get to.
Yes, and that gives us just enough distance that we can hit that little checkpoint. And as you can see, we spawn back in exactly where we had been, but now the minecart exists. And that platform that it's on top of right now, that's where our rock was that we blew up earlier. As you can see, the minecart did not hit a rock. That's great. I just need to walk my pet minecart along a little bit, and Link is now tired. I know he took 2 naps earlier. He is still an eepy boy. So he's going to sit on a chair until he feels rested. There should be a chair right there. He feels rested, and now he's gonna hug my best friend. Thank you. We are setting our health to be something very specific because we are going to be doing a trick called Girahim 3 escape sequence. So we're gonna first do our final back in time of the run. If you would like to donate for that Crypt of the Necrodancer incentive, please do it now because, again, final back in time in the run. After this, it's go, 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 and then we finish the game. I swear, it doesn't look like it, but this is right before Gauntlet.
Yeah, y'all aren't ready for this.
Yeah. So
I wasn't kidding when I said we did not have a lot of time, y'all.
Oh, yeah. I believe in y'all, but get your donations in now. Don't worry, there's plenty of deaths to donate for. But we're gonna do one last back in time sequence because we would like to set the flag for the Thunder Dragon having been saved, and then we're gonna talk to him, which is going to give us access to his minigame. And once we have access to his minigame, because we're on a New Game Plus file and the game assumes that we have beaten the game before, it assumes correctly, I've beaten this game a few times actually, it's gonna let us fight the endgame gauntlet as minigame options. It's essentially a timed form of the fight. And included in the endgame gauntlet is Girahim 3. Now, we are not going to enter the minigame and then beat Girahim 3. That would just spit us out of the minigame, and that's kind of boring and also doesn't do anything. I want to do funnies. So we aren't going to beat Girahim 3. We're going to escape. We're going to run away like dirty little cowards because we're scared and we want to save our game. We're going to do that via zany platform manipulation. But before that, this again is our last back in time sequence of the run. It's actually going to look very similar to that first time we entered Farron because we are setting flags in a very similar area. So while I do some zany movement while I can't see the screen because I also can see the file screen in the way, Ophelia, take it away.
Oh, I've got a little bit of luck here. I have a $20 donation from 64-Bit Link that says, objectively, best Kikwi is Yerbil. Good luck, Pippi, with the rest of the run. I also have $5 donations from deaths 14, 13, 12. I think I might have missed 11 in there at some point in time, but please, y'all, let's get those death donos in to unlock that death polka. How long do we have?
There's another one.
Oh, let's get another one in. I want to see those. How long do you think we have on that, Pippi?
Oh gosh, usually I have a timer to look at. I don't have a local timer running, by the way. I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes, 10 minutes,
Y'all, 15 minutes. We can do this.
I believe in you.
We are 26% of the way there, so we got 130 out of the 500 to meet that, but y'all please get those in. I want to hear this death polka.
You've got this. You've got this. Please, we'll try to sneak in as many donos as we can, but we are approaching the end of the run, and this is the part that has never been seen on GDQ main stage nor Fatales, so please, support our lovely charity and support Fatales. Oh,
We just got a jump up on that one. $100 donation from Helden Sorbet that says, I haven't been able to watch much this week because I have some dono catching up to do. Also need to know about that death polka. I need to know more about it as well.
All right, so we are gonna hit start as Link goes to exit the screen there, and the game is going to immediately tell me that this worked because Fi is gonna come out of my sword and say, hey, your back in time worked. I'm gonna go, hey, thanks. At least that's what I assume she is saying. I don't speak Japanese. So we are gonna play this aggressively safe. We are going to safety save right now. There's only one fail case that requires a safety save because it does soft lock, but just in case. So now you can see that the Thunder Dragon does exist, and he's going to ask if we want to play his minigame, and we're of course going to say yes, and ask us what fight we'd like to be in. I've memorized where the fight I want is, because again, I don't speak Japanese, but he's also going to say, hey, this minigame's really hard. I'm not gonna let you use any of your late game items that you are so used to using by this point in the game. And Link is going to look, I'm sorry, Uwu is going to look blankly into the middle distance and go, what are items? He's gonna say, no, don't worry, I'm being nice. You can bring your favorite shield with you. And Link is gonna go, what's a shield? Because we don't need those things. Anyway, welcome to Girahim 3. We're gonna let him punch and line him up with that little piece of architecture in the background. So we're hitting him in the correct direction, and what we're trying to do is get him low enough in the stage that his void plane that exists below him is below the floor. And we're going to achieve that by silly dangles. I swear this is doing something in a 1, 2, 3, 4, drop. And we're gonna hit him off again. Oh, he was a little sassy, but perfectly fine. Once again, we're gonna do a silly dangle. And as you can see, he's further away from me this time. That's how you know it's working. And what we're trying to do is to get to a bird statue at the bottom of the stage. 1, 2, 3, drop. Okay, that's not good. We're gonna let him kill us and try it again. He got a little sassy and my motion controls got a little desynced. I'm just giving y'all extra time to hit the incentive, don't worry about it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that, you're giving us some time to get that polka incentive. With these donations I have a $25 one from Adorable that says polka, polka, polka. Come on, y'all, I want to hear that polka.
Exactly. Oops, there's bonkable collision there.
I did not know that. That's very funny.
Has that ever happened before?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We bonk that collision all the time. Yeah, unfortunately, again, the motion controls tend to desync a little bit more when I'm shakier, and oopie doopie. But that's okay. We can just try again. That was also not the fail case. That, my goodness. Please. Yeah, that'll work. Can we please actually sync my motion controls? Thank you so much. We're trying to get only vertical slashes. Don't even worry about it.
Sorry, Pippi.
What's that?
I also wanted to announce that we crossed the 79K mark.
Ooh, thank you so much, y'all.
That is fantastic, y'all.
That'll work. All right. He's a little bit far away from me, but that should be fine. We just need to get one more in, and then we do get to a part of the run that I love because it's called mandatory audience participation. And you will see what I mean in just a moment. All right, that'll do it. He is now very far down in the stage, and you can tell by the fact that my shadow has disappeared from the platform below me. And now I'm gonna count to 2, and then y'all need to tell me what console this released on. Ready? It'll 1, 2, whee! All right, and he's gonna try to punch me. I don't care. I'm gonna do some slashies and a jump. And now we are down at the bottom of the stage. We can do a roll and a hop, and we are out of bounds. And we are at this bird statue, and we're gonna save and quit because, again, we're cowards. We are escaping this fight. We are not fighting him. Saving and quit also removes the flag that tells the game that this is a mini game. So when I load back into my file, you'll notice that something is missing from the fight. Just really subtly. It's the timer at the top of the screen. The timer is gone, which means that we're in the real Girahim 3 fight. We didn't fight Girahim 2. We skipped Girahim 2. Sorry, Girahim 2. You're a less fun fight. By the way, I just got back in bounds because you can butt slide up walls, but in bounds was boring, so I would like to get back out of bounds. Smidgen. Walls aren't real. By the way, there's an invisible wall here. Just wanted to show that off. While you're running up, yeah.
Maybe you could explain now that you've completed it why you had to make sure that you did not get hit that first time that we were doing it.
Yeah, because we take damage when we do that drop down. We don't have the sailcloth. One of the big items that you're supposed to get in Skyward Sword is the sailcloth, and we never got the sailcloth, so we cannot avoid taking damage on that last drop down. So unfortunately, because he was quirky and decided to really punish the tiny bit of off that my motion controls were, we took some damage and that was bad. But as I said, no biggie. We're right back. And now we have some extra health for the end of the game because you're supposed to be doing this at half a heart, optimally. So we went for a run and spawned him out of bounds. But if we dealt damage to him out of bounds, that would actually crash the game. It's one of the few crashes that... Oh. I hit a fence. That's interesting. That's okay. We can... very easily recover from that. We're just gonna not damage him because once again that would crash the game, and we're gonna let him get back in bounds. And there we go. There are multiple ways to get back in bounds. Here's one of my favorite tricks. That saves a very small amount of time and makes Girahim all slidey.
You're saving too much time, Pippi. I don't know how much time left we have to beat this incentive, because we need to close that couple minutes before our crypt run, and you are getting through this fight very fast. Come on, y'all. We are 73% of the way there. I really need to hear this polka.
That is so much more percentage than the last time you checked in.
Chat,
oh my God.
Y'all are speedrunning this incentive. We are so close. Please, I want to see it before the end of this run.
Y'all are killing it. Keep killing it. Meanwhile, I'm gonna kill Girahim 3.2. That's what we call him now because he's the second time. It's very clever. I didn't come up with this. But now we're gonna do one of the hardest tricks in the run. It's very difficult to do with handshake. That's not gonna do it. I was a little desynced, which makes it even harder, but we're gonna see if we can get it to show it off. Ooh, that was good. So this is the Girahim 3.2 stun lock. Nope, we're gonna miss the third one, that's okay. It is a skyward stab, which is very hard to do. Oh, went right through him. Especially with handshake, and especially with our tiny baby sword that is very slow at doing skyward strike charges. You're supposed to have the true master sword for this. There we go. And the true master sword charges way faster. In New Game Plus, it actually charges pretty much instantaneously. I'm also just doing a little manipulation to make sure that he spawns right for him again. He always spawns right behind me because I would like him to. Well, we showed off the trick. We're just gonna brute force our way through this. It won't be super fast, but oh, don't eat my spin put now. There we go. So Girahim always is damage-based and not hit-based, which is why this fight takes forever. Because you're supposed to have a sword that does a lot of damage. We do not. So I'm gonna marathon through a bunch of hits on Girahim. Just keep on trucking. And that's gonna give y'all time to meet that incentive, because here's a spoiler about Demise, our final boss. It's not Ganon, it's Demise. I swear they're different. But Demise is hit-based, not damage-based. So his fight's gonna go super, super fast, especially if I know what I'm doing, which I hope I do.
Well, Pippi, I know what you're doing. You are getting this incentive met. We are unlocking that death polka. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Very
for
nice.
that. That was wild.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. Y'all are so ahead of me.
I literally, you started talking. We had about 76%. By the time you finished talking, we were met. That was beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Now I am going into the final boss now, and I'm gonna let Variety talk because I need to focus just a little bit. This fight is scripted, but if I mess up a little bit, we go off script, and I have to improv some motion controls.
Yeah, so the first phase is not particularly difficult, but has, like, as Pippi said, a weirdly large amount of health. We're basically going to be tricking him into attacking by purposefully getting blocked on either side of him like that, leaping backwards and then forwards again on repeat until he gets taken out for the first phase. Fairly simple, but the somersault timing can be something you can take for granted if you underestimate it, but Pippi did it just fine.
Yep, I had a little bit of improv in there, but very quick improv. All right, phase 2. This is the easy part. Time is coming up when I stab him in the chest on the second knockdown. The first knockdown is fake. He's gonna fall down right here. There is literally no way to have enough time to hit him on that. But good news, slash, 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 and time.
GG.
All right. Wonderful. That was all of Skyward Sword. Done in how long? Do we know my final time?
1:18:26.
Oh my goodness! A
Not too shabby.
118 with a failed attempt at G3 escape. I will take it. That is not a terrible time. So if you'll permit me to be a little bit squishy at the end, thank you everyone so much for letting me show off this run for y'all and letting me talk and fangirl about Back in Time for an hour and 18 minutes. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Fatals, for having me. Thank you everyone so much for donating to meet that incentive at the last minute. Oh my god, what a wonder y'all are. I really appreciate all of it. I would like to say out from personal note that when I started running this game, the world record was a 121. And it means a lot to me to get to show off at events a run that is faster than the world record when I started running it. That means so much to me in terms of personal progress as a runner. And you have no idea how much it means to me. So thank you everyone so much for having me and for killing Demise with me and playing silly mini games and doing silly bits. I also thank you so much to the Skyward Sword community for putting together this incredible route. There's so many people who have put work into this. Particular shout outs to Gymnast86, Azer, Copernicus, and Your Average Link for finding a lot of the tricks and routing that makes this run tick. And thank you so much, Variety, for being our lovely commentator and for making jokes about HD and SD with me. And thank you, Ophelia, for being our resident Canadian and a wonderful host. And thank you everyone so much for watching. Would either of you like to say any final words?
I don't have much myself other than to say that please go check out Pippi's channel. It is remarkable the amount of progress that she has made in this category and all other categories that she does. But the amount of dedication that she has put into this particular category coming to fruition in a setting such as this is absolutely incredible to be able to see. And it has been an honor to be able to stand by your side as we drive that sword into Demise's stomach. Thanks so much for having me.
So much. Thank you so much. And go check out Variety, who runs HD, where you get to see a little bit more of the intended gameplay, but still with really clean movement and a couple of tricks thrown in, if that's more your vibe. And Ophelia, would you like to say anything? If not, you can take us out.
I don't have much to say other than honestly follow our fantastic runner, follow our comms. These are both absolutely amazing women, amazing fatales, and that was just an amazing run. Thank you so very much.